it feels very much like you've walked into the oldest movie theater that you can think of.
Yeah.
Like, what? It just hasn't been renovated in like 30 years.
No.
You know that, like, if you took off one of the posters on the wall, there would be a poster for, like, the original Die Hard.
Yeah.
Like, just very confusing.
Yeah.
But, like, you walk into it and you're like, what fucking year is it, dude?
It's crazy. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to episode 93 of the Long Time Serenade podcast. We got food from Pita Kitchen today. Brian wanted Mediterranean food, and I was like, that sounds really good. I mean, I didn't... Yeah, just Brian, this fucking bozo wanted Mediterranean food.
I just like the sincerity of just, that sounds good.
It did.
And then you just get it. You're like, yeah, great,
man.
love it.
I always ask, what are we craving? And then he'll say a couple of options, and I'm like, yeah, that's my boy.
That's the thing. I'm like, I never want to just be like, this is what we're getting. So I'm always just like, let me just propose some options. And then Nick can be like, that one. And I'm like, all right.
Restaurant, and then he gets the order, and then the order comes here, and hey, it's all good. It's all good.
It's a perfect system. There is no way to make it better.
Absolutely not. I will say that I didn't branch out. We both got the same thing.
Oh, dude. I just got, oh my God, bro. You weren't kidding.
Lot of fries.
Woo!
That's hella fries.
Woo! How do you feel about this cut of fry? Everybody in the comments below, tell me, what do you think of this cut of fry?
Okay, if it's gonna be that cut of fry, it's got to be seasoned. Like, yes. I don't, if it's like that thick, like, I'm not a big fan of like thicker fries, right? Like steak fries, I don't really fuck with it. It's got to be crispy if it's that big, and or seasoned, like have seasoned salt or some shit.
Are you a shoestring guy?
Love shoestrings, bro.
So like Steak and Shake is like your ideal fry.
Steak and Shake size, McDonald's size.
Yep.
Or curly.
I will say the best fast food fry is Wendy's.
Wendy's.
Yes. Because
hot take.
They're like a little thinner than this typically, but salted all to hell.
Yeah.
And they're
salty.
Incredible.
They're salty as hell.
And then you just get that shit, you dip it in a Frosty.
Dude, you're right. With the Frosty combo makes it elite for sure.
That's the thing, is like Wendy's is always like, I feel like Wendy's is like one of the bigger like slept on fast food chains.
It really is.
Like, people don't really talk about it, but like all their burgers are good. Their chicken nuggets are the best. I don't give a shit what anybody says. They have Frosties.
Yeah. And they're cheap as hell.
And honestly. They're cheap. And they have like so many like combo deals and stuff. You get a baked potato at that place, dude.
I know.
What a crazy place Wendy's is.
Chili, you get all kinds of shit, bro. Yeah, Wendy's is slept on. I don't know why. Their social media team is great. Like their marketing is great. Like, their food is, their patties are square, bro.
Revolutionary.
They're really good. I remember that was whenever like we would get like a treat whenever we'd do something good, or we'd be out at the store with my mom, like when we were little, be like, you guys want Wendy's? We'd be like, yeah, and I'd get like a junior bacon cheeseburger.
I always envisioned the Wendy's that was on Grape Road. Like right across from the mall.
Best Buy?
Yeah. That's the one that I always picture in my brain. Yeah. And I'm always just like,
such a random spot, bro.
It was, but it was always like, there was always a considerable line there. Parking lot was completely empty. Nobody ate inside of that Wendy's ever. No. But anyways, back to the point of the fries. I like these.
Are they?
I like fries.
I stole one or two.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think they could use a little more salt, but the point of this size of fry is it is a receptacle for condiments.
Exactly. Although I do wish that, since it is a Mediterranean place, it came with some kind of like actual dipping sauce for those, because those fries are like the perfect amount of not too flavorful to be dipped in something really flavorful. Give
me like some tzatziki that you would put on the gyro, on the shawarma, whatever you want. Give me some of that in like a little dish. That's what I want for that.
That's what I'm saying.
But anyways, what do we get?
You got chicken shawarma wraps, and they're hefty. I'll tell you what,
dude. Good Lord, holy shit!
Wow, bro.
Look at this. God damn. This has some mass to it.
That's fucking huge, bro.
Like, just some serious heft.
Yeah.
I am genuinely very impressed with that. So, all right, we're going to take the first bite. How do I eat it?
On the gullet. I'm going skinny side first. You have a skinnier side or not really?
I mean, I do, but I'm like, this is kind of like the opening, so I want to make sure that that's up.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. All right, here we go. Oh.
That's pleasant.
Yeah, very.
That's really good, bro.
Yeah.
It's very full. You know?
I'm like, typically whenever I get like a shawarma of any kind, if you get a gyro of any kind, I always find that there's just not a lot in it. You know, it's a lot more pita than it is anything else.
Yeah.
Usually the pita's a little thicker, and like, but this feels like loaded. Like it feels full, and like with chicken specifically.
Yeah, it's not just full of other shit. Like, and this pita has tortilla consistency, which I love. Dude. Oh. And it's got like the flour that you like. That is the perfect. That's how you know a tortilla is good. So I think that's how you know a pita is good too.
Yeah, I think like everything's playing really well in it. You know that sauce, the shawarma seasoning and everything is like kind of permeating through everything. So like, you know, it is kind of like you get hit with that taste, and it kind of just stays through everything. But then you get like that little pop of the tomato, that little pop of the cucumber, which is like
so fresh,
which is what you're supposed to.
Yeah,
and it gives you that like brightness, that little bit of freshness that cuts through that pretty hearty shawarma. Good Lord, dude, that's really good, and
it was pretty cheap.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like a $10 wrap.
Yeah, considering that like Mediterranean food, especially in and around the LA area, is usually pretty pricey. Megan and I get Mediterranean food a lot because I have a lot of vegetarian options for her. And also, chicken shawarma is like one of my favorite foods in general. In a plate, in a wrap, however you want to do it. I love it. So like we've eaten at a lot of places, and half the time I'm always like, that wasn't worth the $18 that was. The best one I've ever had was like a $10 like wrap combo that was like a little bit smaller than this, a side. So I got like usually like hummus and more pita, and then a drink for like $11, $12.
That's such a good deal.
And I was just like, that's incredible. But this is like, I'm feeling this. This feels good. I like it. I'm glad we decided on Mediterranean.
Yeah, it's like, it's no frills, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's chicken, cucumbers, tzatziki.
You're ordering a shawarma wrap. There's nothing special about this, but it's like one of those things where it's like, you do the basics so well that what else do you need, you know?
I'm gonna give this an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 8 is solid. 7.5.
Yeah.
Just because I think they could have laid it off just a tiny bit on the seasoning. I think it's just a little bit.
There's
too
a lot.
much.
There is a lot of seasoning.
Yeah,
for sure.
But
it overpowers the veggies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which, you know, hey, if that's your prerogative, that's your prerogative. But for me, give me a little bit more of that freshness in there. But yeah, 7.5, 7.75, 8.
That's fair. Very fair.
That's a damn fine pita wrap if I ever had one myself.
Oh, yeah, man. I like that. They're not trying to be anything they're not.
Nope. Appreciate that. I always appreciate a simple plates that they're like, this is what we do and we do it well.
Facts.
Great.
Pita Kitchen on Van Nuys. Very good. Very nice.
It's always funny to me, like when you tell somebody like what street you're on in LA, because it's like you do realize that street goes on for like 12 miles. They're like, oh yeah, we're on Victory. Like, okay, but like what city?
Victory in Burbank or Victory in fucking Encino?
Yeah, exactly. Like you just got to be a little bit more specific. You can't just say Sunset, because that goes literally the entire length of Los Angeles. Like, I don't know what you want me to understand by that. Oh.
All right, it's on Van Nuys, close to the 405.
Okay. Yeah.
Close to that interchange.
So it's like firmly in Sherman Oaks.
Or sorry, yeah, by the 405 101 like interchange. Yeah, like it's pretty much just straight east.
Yeah. Dope.
I mean, straight west.
Dope.
Directions.
Dope.
Anyways,
hit it up if you're in the area. Big fan.
Hit it up if you're in the area. Yeah, absolutely.
So Nick is wearing a little visor. He's being a little sporty today.
I'm a sport man. What can I say? Well, the tennis winter season is over, and that's not going to stop me from playing tennis. Anyways, that's why a lot of the time we've had to, put off either cancel the pod or do it earlier in the day or whatever, is because all the fucking tennis matches are on Saturday and Sunday, which is so annoying, and they're always at like noon. But the tennis season is over, so now I can schedule my tennis around the pod rather than the other way around.
Look at that.
It's great.
Look at that.
It's great. It's really nice, We had an end of the year bash where we all just went out to the tennis court and hit some balls, and the tennis captain she like had like a whole picnic table set up with, dude, she had a whole spread. She had like Portos, she had like fruit plates, she had like cupcakes.
Wow.
All kinds of shit. She's very nice. She's a very sweet Russian lady.
That's incredible.
So I was on multiple leagues, as I've talked about. One of them is run by just this very strict, like very like all business, no fun woman. And she's a doctor, and she doesn't have like any, this is just like what she does. She just has a passion for tennis, I guess. No fun, no games. And at the end of the season, she sent an email, and she's like, hey, everyone, here's how many matches you played. Here's how much you owe me for the court time, right? Because you do have to pay for these courts.
Right.
And so she's like, hey, Venmo me, whatever. Mind you, she's a doctor.
Money, please.
Yeah. Then this other woman, this Russian lady, she's just like, okay, everyone, it's the end of the season. Come down to the courts. I'm going to have a big spread of food, whatever. And if you want to throw in $5, that's great. Whereas this other lady, she's like, yeah, Nick, you owe me $40.38. Like, it was down to the fucking, Wow. And she's just like, no, come play, come have fun. We're going to have a lot of food. It's going to be a great time.
Dude, that's incredible. That's like...
and she always brings snacks to the games. Always.
I was going to say, she like sets this up like she's the mom at the summer camp. Mm-hmm. That's so cute. She's got orange slices and juice boxes.
That's the mentality she has. Except every time at the matches, she'll have like granola bars and water and bananas and stuff. But then she'll always bring a cooler full of like Arizona iced teas and hard seltzers.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Bro, it's so fucking funny.
Oh, I love that. I love that she's just like, hey, we're having fun today. I love that.
She's great.
That's always the thing where I'm always like, if this is like a rec league or like a rec sport, like just calm down a little bit.
I know. Have fun. Like, that's the whole point.
Yeah, like we're paying money just to like fuck around with people that we like and play a game that we like to play. Like just...
Yeah, it doesn't need to be so fucking serious, No. Yeah, some of the teams are like all business too. Like they have the same mentality. They're like fucking, and we're like, all right, chill out. Just here.
You're not like playing for money. You're not like a professional. Calm down.
I know. Like, ooh, you get to go to the regional championship for no money. Again, you're not playing. You're paying to be there. You're not playing for money.
Like just have fun with it, man.
Yeah,
calm down.
Yeah. So
I very much have the mentality of the parent that's just like, oh no. Mm-hmm. We've had a collapse.
The integrity is no longer. That's what happened to me about halfway through. Mm-hmm. That's why my hands are covered in shawarma.
Yep, that's where I'm at. I'm at the point too where I'm just like, you know what? My face is just gonna look bad.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm going
for the next like 10 minutes, so we're just gonna deal with it.
Fuck it, we ball.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm definitely like the parent mindset where I'm just like, listen, man, you're a kid playing a game. Just enjoy it. Everybody gets a trophy at the end. Like you're just having fun. Calm down.
Exactly.
Who cares?
Yeah, and there are some people who really, you could tell, had the opposite experience growing up, whose parents were like, you better fucking win. Mm-hmm. Don't come home if you don't bring home the gold.
Yep.
Yeah, and they it's just really ruin it for everyone.
Yeah, like what? Like, look, I get it. And in the back of my mind, there is a little thing where it's just like, oh, we're like breeding like entitled kids and stuff like that. Like, sure, it's not a good argument,
right? But
I can understand where you're coming from with that argument.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, who gives a shit? It is a game that you're playing with other just normal fucking people.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Like, and that's always the thing too, where it's like part of the thing where it's like where kids are training to be like Olympic athletes and champions and stuff like that. It's like, did they really choose it?
Right.
Or is it more of just like their parents pushing it on them and they're like, no, I want to do it, because their parents are like,
because you're like, yes, you want to do this. They like whisper in their sleep, subliminal messaging. You want to play tennis so bad. You want to be a tennis star. You want to play tennis so bad. This guy,
they have like an ASMR stream that just runs all the time. Yeah.
You're a tennis player, forehand, backhand, Rafa Nadal, Roger Federer, Carlos Alcaraz. This guy that I've played with before a few times, he's really good. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, how long? I was like, did you play in high school? Whatever. He's just like, yeah, dude, my parents like put a racket in my hand like as soon as I could walk. They had me on a diet and a training regimen until I was in college. They literally, as a child, like literally through like middle school and until like he could figure it out for himself. Like they literally had him on a diet and a training regimen.
Gross.
Crazy.
That's insane.
I know.
I could never force a child to do that unless they were expressly like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to be good at this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll figure that out. But like, I'm not
going
gonna
a diet for your kid is fucked up.
Your body's just supposed to get as much shit in it as it can as you're growing.
I know.
Like,
I know.
Who cares? Just don't drink like a whole 12 pack of Mountain Dew.
And you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Especially if you're fucking playing tennis all the time.
Right?
Bro, you're gonna be. You need the carbs. You need the You need the calories.
That or like swimming, bro. Just eat whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. You just need it. You just need calories.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Yeah, I know. And did he play in college? No, because he didn't want to. Because he had been playing his entire life, and his parent he had this negative connotation now associated with it.
Yeah, because he probably got burnt out when he was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like his whole familial understanding between him and his family is like that of a coach.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're their fucking parent.
It totally is.
Play with them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. That's half the thing where it's like, I don't want kids because like, I don't want the possibility of that happening.
Yeah.
Of like, anything that like I instill onto them that would force them to feel that way about something.
I know. I feel Sam.
What's
You. How's your week? Brian is moving, everybody.
Oh, right. I am moving. Dude, it's been a lot.
Yeah.
No. We've just been moving stuff back and forth the last couple of days. I luckily had Friday off.
Nice.
Because per the new IATSE contracts, we have Good Friday off for just some reason. Okay. I don't really know why. But we do. So I had it off. That was the day that we picked up our keys.
Great.
Took everything over there, dropped everything off. And like as we're unpacking in the basement, like, you know, pulling stuff out of my car, pulling stuff out of Megan's car. Megan's car is like a beat up 2002 Honda Pilot. People in this fucking apartment complex, like I was telling you right before the pod, there's a Rolls Royce in this parking garage. There's multiple Mercedes. There's a couple of Lexuses. There's like 2 BMW SUVs. And I'm like, first off in my head, I'm like, where the fuck am I? Like, why? Should I live here? And like, we're sitting there and there's like these 2 dudes in the like tandem spots that are like in their little like Lexuses or whatever with their doors open, blaring like Armenian music.
Nice.
Like in the parking garage. So we're like pulling stuff out and they keep like staring at us. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
The hell, bro?
Yeah, and like one of them gets in the elevator and goes up. And like we get in the elevator with our stuff and go up. We're like, oh my God, it smells like cigarettes in here. And we're just like, well, that guy wasn't smoking. I think that's just what he smells like.
He just smells like
that guy just smells like cigarettes.
Wow.
It was wild, dude. But yeah, so like the building is super strange. While we were there too, like Megan was wearing one of my DreamWorks sweatshirts, and this girl in the lobby was like, "Excuse me, this is a weird question, but like, do you work at DreamWorks?" And she was like, "No, he does." And I was like, "Yeah, I work in editorial on this project." And she was like, "No way! Like, I just started as like a PA in the lighting on this other thing." And so she literally works on the floor below me.
Oh shit!
In my building, and I was just like, what?
See you at the office.
Yeah, I was just like, you should come here, and then we should carpool because you get special hang tags at DreamWorks. It gets you a closer spot if you carpool. So I'm like, hey,
dude, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and I was just like, so a PA at a big animation studio is looking at an apartment here where a guy who drives a Rolls Royce lives.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck? Why is that guy here? What's going on?
I think those like luxury apartments, whatever, like attract just certain people, who have a lot of money just for whatever reason. Like there are so many other places they could live that are either more practical or nicer or whatever. Like, those, you get a decent, I think the only way it makes sense living in one of those places is if you have a roommate or like a partner or someone that you live with. Cause like, for the amount that you pay for like what you get, it looks nice on the outside and whatever, and there's amenities and stuff, but just like it's not worth it. It's really not.
And
that's why splitting rent.
Like, and that's the nice thing is that like Megan and I, we're partners. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
But like the way that all the units were laid out was very much like, this is your master bedroom, this is your office / guest room. Like that is how it's meant to be. So it's like, okay, this is clearly meant for people like us. Yeah. Not people with like roommates who are looking for their own space.
Right.
So I was like, this is just like one of those things where they're like, this is the type of person or like the type of people that we're trying to attract in here. I get that's what you're going for, but it's like, have some variety,
right?
Like in your building,
right?
So that you can like diversify the group of people who live here,
yeah.
And so that you're not just getting like these people. Which, granted, I mean, management companies don't give a shit. No, as long as you're paying them, they don't care.
They don't fucking care.
But it's like, it's a lot of that stuff where I'm just like, so it's like, I'm just gonna be surrounded by these kinds of people all the time.
Yep.
And Megan and I are just not those fucking people.
You guys have a pool?
I actually don't know. No, we don't.
Do you have a gym?
We have a gym. And we have like a lounge, like business center area that was like really cute. Like we went into it when we were moving stuff in, and I was like, "Oh, this is so nice." Oh. Yeah, it's like got the green Instagram couch and like a couple of other like seating areas. It's got one of those things like, you know at bars where they have like the long shuffleboard table.
Yeah,
it's got one of those.
No
in it.
way.
And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I love this thing."
Table?
It does not have a pool table. But it has like an arcade machine.
Oh, what?
And so I was like, okay, cool.
That's tight.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not mad about it. But yeah, it's nice.
That's
I'm like
cool.
I'm very pleased with it. But it's one of those things where I'm just like, where are we?
Yeah.
Because like we're like North Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because we're like we're on Van Owen, so we're like pretty north.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people like want to live up there, so I'm like, why are you guys here when you could have been somewhere else that was bougier? Like, especially since you spent $130,000 on this fucking 4-door car.
Yeah, on your car. Yeah, Rolls Royce just seems like such a... What is the point of that vehicle? It's like, do they have crazy engines? Isn't the point that they just, like, it's just the name attached to it and they're like, you know, like luxurious and meant if you have a driver or whatever? Like,
yeah. That's the thing that has never made sense to me about Rolls Royces is like, well, people in LA specifically, because they buy them to drive them. And I was like, wasn't the whole appeal of a Rolls Royce back in the day that like they had the suicide doors so that like a driver would let you in and then drive you around? That was like the point of them. Now you're just driving it yourself. Yeah. Like it's a luxury vehicle. Like the nicest part of it is the back seat.
The back seat, I know.
Like, what are you doing? It's just it's so strange because, like, yes, they do have very good engines. They were all of the plane engines in World War II for the RAF. Okay. So, like, that's what Rolls-Royce started as. Yeah. So it's like, you have all of this, like, cool history to it, but it's like, what? You're not really experiencing it.
Give it in the back. No, that's crazy.
Give it back. Give it to me. Let me take it,
bro. I'll be your driver. I don't care.
It's just so strange to me.
That's very...
But I don't know. I've never understood the appeal of just like buying a luxury vehicle. You know what I mean?
Same.
Like if I'm gonna buy a really nice car, I want it to be like a performance vehicle. Yeah. Like I want like a kind of like a you know, I'm not ever gonna be able to afford like a Ferrari or some shit. Sure, but like you get one of those. Yeah. You know, you're not like it just seems weird to spend all the money.
I'm not gonna get a fucking like Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. Like that's just so. This is crazy.
Those cars are so funny to me.
They're goofy as hell, bro.
They're so goofy. They look like the
lunch boxes.
Yeah, they look like if you took the Scion soul. Yeah. And then sucked the soul out of it. Yeah. And that's what you got.
Just squared it off. Just fucking.
Yep.
Yeah. No. Yep. Silly ass car. I don't know if we've talked about it on the pod. I feel like we might have. But the reason that so many people in LA have those cars is because you can write off the full amount of that. Specifically that vehicle and like other vehicles in that category, the entire amount of that vehicle the first year you purchase it. So like $100,000 tax write-off. Like you can, I mean, you can spread it out, but like with most cars, you can't buy a car and then be like, oh, that's a $40,000 write-off. You can't do that. That is because of like, it's like a special class of like utility vehicle in California specifically that you can take all $120,000 that you probably didn't even spend on it, even if you finance it, and take that off your taxes.
Wow, I never knew that. Yeah. Holy shit,
it's crazy. That's why so many people have them.
That's wild. Mm-hmm. I wonder what the reasoning for that was.
Why you're allowed to write it off? Yeah. I have no fucking idea.
Like what? Who proposed it in the legislature to be like,
let's see.
Well, it's because all these people wanted like these luxury vehicles but couldn't afford them. It's like, well,
G-Wagon tax write-off. Let's see.
Is it specifically for like SUVs like that, or is it like you would do it on like a Rolls Royce or something?
Let's see. Oh, it starts at $180,000. That's nuts.
Oh my god.
Blah 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 blah.
Because I know like the MSRP of like a baseline G-Wagon is like 120 grand. Yeah. Or like 130 somewhere around there.
That's fucking nuts. Okay, let's see. It's legally possible to write off your car using Section 179. The IRS allows a vehicle to be written off over the course of 5 years, but you can make use of Section 179 and bonus depreciation to completely write off the value of this vehicle in 1 year. According to the IRS, Section 179 allows depreciation of business vehicles, also personal vehicles if used partially for business, based on vehicle weight. Okay, so that's why. So it's 6,000-pound car.
You take it to a place and they just like lift it up and then drop it on a scale.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yep, nope, it's good.
Per Investopedia, bonus depreciation is a tax incentive that allows a business to immediately deduct a large percentage of the purchase price of eligible assets, such as vehicles that has a useful life of less than 20 years. For vehicles placed in service in 2021, the total deduction...
Okay, but it sounds like it has to be a work-related vehicle.
Sure, but you can...
That's a good point.
You can say that about anything. Uh-huh. Any person with any sole proprietor or like person who gets one 1099 can say that this is a business vehicle.
Damn, I should have done that.
Right? The total Section 179 deduction and depreciation for a light passenger automobile, so that's under 6,000 pounds, is $18,000.
What?
But for instance, say you bought a $50,000 car weighing under 6,000 pounds, a write-off of $10,000 every year for up to 5 years is unlocked by default. But if your vehicle has a gross weight above 6,000 but below 14,000, you're eligible for a $26,000 write-off if placed in service in 2021. But if the vehicle is 100% business use and qualified for bonus depreciation, you can write off 100% of it.
Jesus.
So that is...
Oh my God.
That Audi Q7, BMW X5, Land Rover, Range Rover, Cadillac Escalade, etc. Bear in mind, you have to have the money to purchase the vehicle in the first place. Additionally, if your taxable income is $50,000, you cannot claim a $75,000 write-off and expect a $25,000 refund.
Right.
Plus, if you write it off completely in the first year, you can apply for bonus depreciation and 100% write-off on the vehicle next year, obviously. So yeah, obviously, these are people who make hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, right, that are going to end up paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in tax. So that right there is almost $200,000 off of your tax, which
that's insane.
Makes sense,
dude.
But it's crazy. Yeah, that's why so many people have them here.
How do they make that much money?
Right? That's what I'm saying. I mean, dude, I don't fucking know.
Nobody in LA actually works. Come on.
I know. It is. I am always surprised when I never know what anyone does.
Yeah.
Never know what anyone does.
Yep.
Especially the last building that I was at. I had no idea what anyone did. I tried to ask them too. I dog sat for this woman one time and I was like,
what do you do?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what she did, and she just never ever gave me a straight answer. So, I'm in school right now. I was like, oh, okay, but so again, that begs the question: how are you paying $3,000 for this apartment?
Yeah,
you live alone. I do brand deals and stuff on Instagram. I'm like, there's no way that pays you that much. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe it does, but dude, fucking.
I mean, if you got $10 grand for one brand deal and you did one a month.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's
pretty good.
That's pretty awesome. I would do that.
I mean, I doubt that they come that frequently, even for big name people. I don't ever see brand deals that often.
Unless it's a podcast or a YouTuber or something. Mm-hmm. I mean, pretty much
that's
most
true.
YouTubers have one brand deal per video.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Podcasts have at least 3.
Yeah.
I feel like the big ones at least.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Griffin just hit 100,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel.
He did?
Yeah.
Dude, what? Back when I first heard about it, he was at 1,000, maybe less. No way, 100,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He's been killing it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He's just been doing it since junior year of college.
I was going to say, I feel like the first time I hung out with you guys, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and he told me about his YouTube channel. I watched it. I mean, it was great. It was great content, but there was no subscribers. That's crazy. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I just thought that was really cool. But it was he was talking about how he does brand deals and gets things in there, and it's even at 100,000 subscribers, he has a handful of people who he constantly is doing stuff with. And I was like, that's neat.
That's awesome.
It's the barrier to entry is a lot lower.
Mm-hmm.
The converse side of that, though, is that to do what Griffin does, he has to be here, right?
Sure.
So he's going to press screenings and going to press junkets and doing all this stuff. Where somebody who does the same thing in like Iowa,
right,
their costs are way lower.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you balance that? Like, what? And then, you know, where do you find that sweet spot of like, where am I pissing off my subscribers by having so many things in here in order to like make a living?
I know.
Versus not having anything and then like still needing to do a whole bunch of other work.
Yeah.
It's really
that's a tough balance.
Yeah. That's like the business side of things where it's like, yeah, just hire an accountant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be right. Like, they follow you because they like you, but then at one point, is it just like, okay, now you're just a billboard to people, you know? It's got to be an interesting balance.
Right. And it's already like, his channel specifically is doing like movie reviews and stuff, right? So it's like a very specific thing that he does. So as you like start separating it out, like, at what point do people start looking at it as like, okay, this is not what I signed up for? Obviously, I'm not looking at this as like a critique of his channel. He does what he does very well, and I really like all of his content. But it's like, this is a hypothetical scenario of looking at it from like okay, you're doing this for this long,
right? And
then you start trying to deviate,
right?
You're always going to like piss off some of your base that's like, no, I'm here for this. But it's like, this stuff is always still there. Yeah. It's not like it goes away.
Right.
So like, where do you find that balance of keeping your core audience satisfied without alienating them by trying to branch out into new markets and grab people? I think that's just how fucking business works. But you know, but it's just really interesting, like seeing like, you know, someone that like you're close to firsthand doing that kind of stuff, and then having like you sitting there and like hypothesizing about it, being like, I wonder how that works. Right. Well, you know, I feel like a lot of times most people, especially in like YouTube and Twitch space too, are also just like, I don't fucking know, I'm just winging it.
Yeah, just kind of, no, exactly. No one knows. There's no fucking right or wrong answer, you know? And then the pendulum swings too far one way, and then you correct, you know? Like, people start leaving comments like, man, like, you're doing a lot of, you know, like, and then you're like, oh, shit, then you correct. Like, that's literally what it is. Like, there's no way to do it correctly. Yeah, you just have to respond to what the market is asking of you. That's business, baby.
Yeah,
that's just business.
It's always wild to me because, like, especially like movie reviews and stuff like that, like, not a huge audience. Like when you're looking at the overall scope of like YouTube, right? Like there are some pockets of people that have big audiences and stuff like that, but like that specific thing of like sitting down and just analyzing a movie, like that attracts a very niche group of people, and then a lot of times it's people who think that they're like smarter than all these other people because for some reason people like to try to be smarter than movies, and it's like, brother, just sit back and relax. Yeah, you're just enjoying the world that is presented to you. And so like people will go in and like argue with him in the comments and stuff like that, and I'm like, bro, his job is to give you his analysis and his opinion. Literally, like, if you don't like it, just fucking leave. Like,
go watch the movie yourself. Or like go like make your own review. But like, that's the whole point. God, that's gonna be See, that would get to me, I think, if I was providing something that was purely subjective, right? Opening myself up to so much criticism, that would be tough. Yeah. Like, you gotta have a fucking tough resolve for that, you know?
Yeah, I think that's half the thing that I just don't. A lot of my issue is always like putting your opinion out there on something that is objectively subjective. Like, there is no right or wrong answer for anything. And then having people telling you that you're wrong all the time, I just like, no, I don't want to. I don't fucking do that. I don't want it.
That's crazy.
Because it's just at some point, like,
and the internet trolls are the fucking worst too, bro. It's never like oh, hey, actually, what about that? They're just like, no, fuck you, stupid piece of shit.
There's no opening to a discussion. It's just immediately attacking you and your opinion instead of just being like, well, this is interesting that you bring this up because what about this? And then you can actually like have a cool discourse with a person that you are theoretically like interested in their opinion with. Right. And I think that's like the coolest part of the discourse is like when like you go into his Twitter feeds and stuff like that. And, you know, he's having, like, actual discussions with people. Right. And I'm like, this is cool. Like, that's what this is meant to be for. Is to just actually discuss these things. But it's just, man, it's just, there's no way I could do that specific gig. No. There's no way.
I don't think so. I watched the Mario movie.
Was it good?
Dude, I loved it. I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't think it's getting good reviews across the board, but I loved it.
I mean, the audience score, again, everybody knows my feelings about, like, scores and metrics for movies. But the audience score is super high.
Yeah, and the critic score is not.
It's super low. Yeah. It's really weird. But I was reading, like, comments and stuff about it, and people were like, a lot of, like, the critic reviews were like, it doesn't look good. Like, the animation looks bad. And I was like, bro, if everything that I've seen in the trailers, if the movie
objectively looks very good.
I was like, if the movie looks like that, that's amazing. Yeah. It looks beautiful.
It's very well done.
Of everything that you can comment on and critique, I don't think that is a valid one.
Yeah, no.
Because, like, it's still stylized, but, like, just looking at the lighting in those trailers.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. Dude, that lighting, TD, needs a fucking raise. Because holy shit, it looks so good.
Yeah, it was very, like, it looked great. Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was, we went the big group, bunch of fucking, Nintendo nerds, and, like, dude, they're so, like, they jam pack it with Easter eggs and, like, fucking, like,
I mean, you have
references.
to, though.
Yeah, you have to. You fucking have to. I mean, the whole time we're like, yeah, that's the fucking, It's so... I thought it was great, Like, it wasn't... I feel like it was... Not to compare it to the Sonic movie, but, like, as far as what the trailer is portraying, and people are like, oh my god, that's gonna be it? Like, the weird accent and shit like that. But versus what the actual movie is, it was... I was completely... Like, I did not know really what to expect from the trailers and, like, the weird, like... Oh, like, the Chris Pratt, or, like, people are like, what the fuck? Like... And they put a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. Let's go see it.
I think that's what happened to a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it was so good. Like, it was like...
Hell yeah.
Great. I really loved it.
Perfect. I mean...
Would recommend.
The beauty of it is that, like, it is now the largest opening weekend for an animated film in history.
Ever.
Yeah.
What was it currently?
385 million was what
What was it the movie previously? Sorry.
I think it was Frozen...
Okay.
But the best, like, box office for animated movies was Frozen 2 and Tangled.
Oh, wow.
Because when those two both released, there was no other, competition for it. And things in that time frame had a much longer, like,
box office
theater run. Yeah. So, like, instead of now where things are in for 30 to 45 days and then they go to streaming.
Yeah.
You'd go to a theater and they would have a movie running for like 2-3 months. Yeah, exactly. So like you'd had more time for it. So this is literally in like one weekend.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Before factoring in Sunday.
Sure.
So like I like read that headline and was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And like part of me is like a little worried because there's always like this struggle between like DreamWorks and Illumination right now a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, because any animation doing well is good for animation on a whole.
Yes.
Like that, and that's the thing. So it's like, if anything, like now, cool, this is like, okay, this is working. Annoyingly, this is kind of like what Illumination does, though.
Right.
Is like, we make these kind of like dumb slapstick movies. But like, it's not dumb. I shouldn't say that, because it's like, how they do it and how they make those movies is very, very smart and like very like intelligently driven. But it's like, from an average consumer perspective, like, yes, this is a dumb children's movie.
The Minions.
Exactly, right. Like, you look at it like that, and like, so, maybe it shifts and people are like, okay, we have to start making all of these types of movies. Where it's like, I can't see that happening, because if things get better, yes, you have 1 or 2 movies in your repertoire that you release that do like that. But then because those make so much money, you put them into your development teams. And then they make really cool shit that you get to see all the time. And that's like the crazier thing too to think about, is that like by the time you see a trailer for an animated movie, it has been in development and production for probably 6 to 8 years. Like, before even like things are announced, it's usually been in development for about a year, year or two, and then it gets pulled out of development and goes into like story edit kind of stuff like that. So my job, doing all of this stuff, and then you go into production, and then when you see a trailer, like, you probably have most of the movie at least in like final anim, so like lighting phases and stuff like that. So like you don't see everything else that's happening for like animation in the industry underneath it as it's going. Where like with normal movies, you kick out a trailer halfway through production because you've already shot half the movie. So like you just send that stuff to trailer houses, they cut it, send it out. You can do things a lot faster than you can in animation, because animation takes so much longer. So it's interesting to see like, okay, cool, with this doing so well, what are we going to see in 6-7 years because of the development cycle that is going to start now for the success of this and the analysis of why it has succeeded and whatnot. So that's like the cool thing about animation, because it's like, we're not really going to see overall the impact of how good movies do now
for another 6 years.
For another 6-ish years. Yeah. And that's what's interesting about it. And that's why a lot of times when you see movies that come out and you go, oh, that feels old, probably because it was developed like 10 years ago.
That's interesting.
So like it made sense for that time period, but then like, you know, you get so far along.
Well, how do you account for that though? I mean,
exactly. Like you get so far along in production that like, you know, you're like, okay, it's dated by the time it gets there, but it's like, so we put so much money into it, we have to release it. Damn. So like that's kind of like always like the interesting thing of like, okay, why did this one make it so far versus something else? And yeah, it's just interesting. Animation's cool, man. It really is cool.
I mean, obviously it just did so well because of the IP, the Nintendo IP, but like
it definitely didn't help or didn't hurt.
No, sure, it didn't hurt. I just, yeah, you're right. I wonder like, I mean, I'm not like well versed enough to speak on it, but I guess I didn't realize that it took that long.
Yeah, I mean, you know, some movies can move along a lot faster. Like if they have a really tight script from the get go, like I know like a lot of pretty big animation movies that have come out in the last 5-6 years only took maybe 6 months to develop before it actually like got put into full production. Some of them take 4 or 5 years in development before they get put into production. So that one's even longer. Wow. You know, script turnovers, people like executives aren't happy, directors leave to go do other projects, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, there's plenty of things that can lead to a prolonged production cycle for it. But that's always the interesting thing. But like, what was you sitting in the theater experiencing it? You leave the theater. Was there anything about it that you like about the Mario movie that you were like, I think this could have been better? Because it just sounds like you loved it.
I really did. And it was a solid like 9 out of 10 movie for me. Like,
hell
it was very like because also I just wasn't going in expecting like the best cinema ever. You know, you just like fun characters that you know and love. And
there's
like,
nothing wrong with popcorn movies, baby.
Yeah. So yeah, for what that was, I would say it was a solid 9 out of 10. Was there anything that I really didn't enjoy? Not necessarily. I mean, like,
hell yeah, that's what I was hoping for.
You know,
I was hoping that you were just like, no, I loved it.
No, I don't. I mean,
sick.
I think for the sake of time, you know, some things are a little bit rushed or something, whatever. But that's just like, it, and you know, I think they relied a lot on people's knowledge of the characters and rather than really developing their backstories. I mean, they did a little bit of that, but they were very accelerated, like origin stories, like and before they jumped into the main thing. Cool. But it's an hour and a half long movie, you know, like it's so short.
Yep. So you're always the sweet spot for an animated movie is like 85 minutes because that gives you, especially an editorial, because you then have like 5 to 10 minutes to bloat with the animation because it always takes longer than what you think it is going to be on screen. So cool. Okay, dude, I love that.
Yeah, I would recommend it.
Great. I need to go see that. We saw Dungeons and Dragons last night. I was gonna
say I want to see that next
because that was very much one that I had zero expectation going into.
Yeah.
I knew what it was going to be, though.
Sure.
I knew that it was going to be like what you were saying about Mario, of like it's going to rely on the people watching it to kind of put in their knowledge of it.
But what's interesting is with Dungeons and Dragons, I mean, obviously that's still a huge fandom, but it's much less mainstream.
Yes, absolutely. Right. And so like you sit down and like I was like, okay, I hope they don't lean too hard into that because otherwise you alienate
half the audience.
Exactly. So like we sat down, we watched it, and it was just really good. I was like, nothing about like everything about it was either just like, okay, cool, that's magic, great, move on.
Right. Other
things were like very clearly and quickly and concisely explained.
Okay.
Or like, you know, we were told what it was.
Right.
And then we moved on, and it was a really tight 2 hours.
Okay.
Like, I mean, it kept moving. Like every time that we had like a lull in it, it was like an understood lull. Like it was meant to be there. Like we're coming out of some action, we're learning some things, getting some character development, and now we're moving into another section.
Yeah.
Like, it flowed really nicely. I actually thought the writing was really like fun.
I've heard it. I heard it was more, you know, like I think a lot of people. I don't know how many people went into it thinking this. This is what I thought until I heard this. I thought it was going to be very like Lord of the Rings-esque because I haven't seen any trailers.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was going to be very like heavy fantasy, whatever. Not that isn't a thing, but like I thought it was going to be more Lord of the Rings. But now I understand it's more like Pirates of the Caribbean-esque, like swashbuckly kind of.
Yeah, basically.
You know?
And I think it's kind of fun too because like the meta of the movie kind of felt like you're sitting at a table playing with your friends.
That's cool.
Because it's like there's just some dumb jokes that are in there, and like characters kind of like being like witty and quippy, and I was just like, this feels like I'm playing a game with my friends, and like that was the cool thing about it. I understand that that's not for everybody, so like people can be upset about that as much as they want, but like it was very nice because it was like at a meta level, like they truly like kind of understood what it was that they were making. Action sequences were really cool. Nice. I think at a certain point with like budgets and stuff like that, you can only go so far. Sure. So like, yes, they could have probably made some things a little cooler or bigger, stuff like that, but like, I don't know, man. It just looked really cool. Okay. It was really fun. Hell like, yeah. I can't get over the fact that Chris Pine was an executive producer. That's so funny. Like, he crushed it. He fully understood the assignment. Yeah, nice. He, like, just absolutely nailed it. Fucking John Francis Daly was the writer for this.
Oh, really?
Did you ever watch Freaks and Geeks?
I mean, I've seen episodes.
Okay, Mitch, Linda Cardellini's little brother? Yeah. That guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he's that.
He wrote it.
Yeah. He's Mitch in Waiting. He's one of the guys in Bones later on. But yeah, he does a lot of writing and directing, like directs a lot of TV shows and stuff like that too. He just has like a very interesting career. Like he went from being like a child actor to being like a serious actor to then going and doing writing and then also directing. Like it's just crazy. He's hopped around a lot. But yeah, it's just it just worked for me, and I was like, this is great.
That's nice.
Like,
I like that.
There was a lot jammed into it. Like I felt like it was kind of a lot at times, and like, but it was really funny because like they introduced this thing, and at the beginning of the movie for one of the characters' backstories, because they like a lot of the things of like playing a D&D campaign is you create your character, you write your backstory and stuff like that. So like a lot of the times is you revealing your backstory little by little to the other players and your DM. Well, your DM should know everything about your characters because it's their job. But you're unveiling that little by little, and it always comes back and like fits into the campaign somewhere, and like you just have like little bits here, and that's truly what the whole movie felt like. It was like everybody kind of gets their backstory. That's cool. And then we meet some things and like they weave in together, and then it all pays off in the end. That's cool.
I like that.
And it was just really nice. It was just like a standard like hero's journey, and I liked it. I thought it rolled really well. I had a lot of fun with it. I hope that we get more stuff like that now, because like I love kind of like that kind of funny, like irreverent but like fantastical stuff. I just love that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, it's pretty good. There was a part where like they introduced this thing early on as one of the characters' backstories or part of it, and like that was like basically their whole goal for like the movie. And Megan leans over to me and she like is like, this is gonna happen at like the 15-minute mark in the movie, and then we get to the end of the movie and she just looks at me as that's exactly happening, and I was just like, she's so good. She's so good. But it was just so funny that I was like, I'm not expecting a super heady like philosophical like allegorical movie like Lord of the Rings. I'm expected to go in and sit down and it's like I'm fucking around with my friends. Like that's what I wanted it to be, and that's what I got, and it exceeded my expectations because I didn't know what the fuck the movie was about. Like I didn't know who any of the antagonists were. I didn't know like what the
Is it about like a specific campaign? Like,
no,
is it just like they just wrote like
it's set in like one of the standard D&D worlds. I think it's the Forgotten Realms, if I remember correctly. But they reference Baldur's Gate in it, and every time they said it in the movie, like everybody in the theater laughed because that was like the computer game Baldur's Gate. So people were like, "Oh," and I was like, "Good, welcome aboard, everybody. We're all gonna have fun here. Thank you." But so like it's set in like one of the standard worlds, and then that's kind of like the whole point, because D&D is just a system. It's not a campaign expressly. Like they give you all these things, they give you some lore, and then you as like your DM can do whatever the fuck you want with it. That's kind of like the beauty of it. Critical Role has their own world in D&D that you can play in.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is still hilarious to me because like I've played in one set in that world. I've played in another one set in that world. I'm currently in one in that world. I've played one in Forgotten Realms. Like I've done a lot of these little things. So like every time I get to see a little bit of it, I'm just like,
that's cool.
I'm like, that looks cool. That's somebody else's interpretation of it that I've had in my head. Like, it's cool. I love that shit.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Hell man, what a good time for movies. What a great fucking time.
Past 2-3 weeks have been just banger after banger.
Yeah.
I need to see John Wick. I haven't seen it yet.
I have to see that too.
Yeah.
Did you see Scream when that came out? Scream 6?
I haven't seen that one yet. No.
Oh, that one's pretty good.
I've heard that's a good one.
I was impressed with
the last one. So
yeah, because I felt like that was like a thing with Scream where I was like, what the fuck do they do now?
Yeah,
like because it's the same kind of shtick, you know. It's you move on with it, but I thought they did pretty well with it. Okay. And I was like, cool, this is a great like fun new frontier. For
because they're a completely different place, right?
Yeah,
in New York, New York, new rules. That's what the poster says.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, it's cheesy.
I've never seen that one.
The like tagline that they always have: New York, new rules.
Ew.
I know, it's cheesy as hell. No, I know. I need to see. I haven't been to the fucking movies. I need to. I told you I switched out my AMC for the Regal shit just because.
Oh yeah, I didn't know you switched it, but I knew you got one.
Yeah, I switched it out. It's just too far to go.
Yeah, it's right there.
The Regal's right there. It's at the Galleria.
Right.
And it's great, and that's. It's the same price. The only and you can see actual unlimited movies. It's not just 3 a week. Like you can see literally as many as you want, multiple times a day, even if you want. But the downside is, if you want to reserve online, it's 25 cents every time, which is fucking.
Listen.
I mean, like sure, a quarter here and a quarter there, but like I'm already paying $24 a month. Like and if I'm really going to see like 10 movies a month, like that's an extra, fucking $5.
Ugh.
Well, $2.
Is this Regal the one that's in the old ArcLight in Galleria?
I don't know.
Like
I don't know
if you're going north on the 405 and it's like that building right there on the right for the Galleria says Regal on it. Because that's the old ArcLight.
Okay, then I think that's probably what it was.
Oh, dude, that's actually dope because I loved that ArcLight.
Really?
Yeah, I missed that ArcLight.
Did that brand go? Did ArcLight?
Yeah, ArcLight folded during the pandemic. Yeah.
Oh, they didn't get bought out.
No.
They just went under.
Yeah,
that sucks.
It was like them, and I think Alamo Drafthouse was getting there as well. But there's still an Alamo Drafthouse in downtown, but I don't know if they're like as big as they used to.
Privately kept afloat at this point. I guess. Like that one building. Because sometimes there's like that one Blockbuster that's still like for some reason thing, even though the company's bankrupt.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure that's the theater then, because I don't think.
Hell yeah.
I don't think they want to build something new. It was nice. It's nice in there. It's great. And the parking's free, which is great. You don't get that at the City Walk.
No, you don't.
Yeah, that was another thing. Like if I'm going to be driving all that way and then paying $5 every time. Whatever.
You should get free parking at the City Walk.
No, it's $5 though. It's $5 every time you park for the movies.
Really?
It's like normally $60, but if you show them your movie pass or your movie ticket, it's the $5. But it's still $5.
Fuck. I always thought that was free. Oh shit, that sucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. That was another thing.
I could park at the City Walk for free.
Well, sure, you can park at the City Walk for free. Yeah. I cannot. It's $5 every time. So,
Yeah, I think that's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna, but the thing is, I could walk to the City Walk before. I used to be able to walk there, and now it's like it takes me 15 to 20 minutes to get there, and then I have to park. It just turns into like an hour round trip to go to the movies, and then I figured I'd go with the Regal.
That's like always half of like the issue of doing anything in LA is just like how fucking long is it going to take me to drive there and back?
I know,
because that genuinely does determine how interested in something I am.
It totally does. And I mean, I think AMC's are objectively way better than Regals, just as far as what they offer and their amenities and the comfort and just like the streamlinedness of the business model. But the streamlinedness. But for what it is, it's $5. 5 minutes that direction. I can go in. I can watch a movie in the middle of the day.
Love it.
It's easy. Easy.
Dude, we ordered like the AMC by us. It's like 4 minutes from our current apartment.
You're gonna go City Walk now, though, huh? That's gonna
either
be
that or Burbank. One of those two.
Burbank is probably a better option to be.
But it's a dine-in one, so you like order when you're like ordering on the app, and they bring it to you.
Those are nice.
And they didn't come until like 20 minutes into the movie, which we had asked it to be brought like 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
So they didn't come, and when they came, we got an icy and a popcorn. And he sets it down, and he's just like, "Here's your popcorn, and this is the cup for the icy," and walks away. And Megan's like,
"You gotta be shitting."
Yeah, and they didn't fill it up.
You gotta be shitting.
So we were like, bro,
what's the point of bringing it to me then?
Yeah, I was like, if I still gotta get up and go do it, I was like, it's one thing if it's like you pick icy on the thing, like sure, then they're like, okay, you fill it up because we don't know which one you want, but it's clearly like we want this icy, and so we were like,
Bro, that's
okay.
Crazy.
So we filled it up on the way out, and we were like, all right, then, I guess.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
Whatever, they don't get paid enough to give a fuck
No, absolutely
not. But it's just kind of funny.
I really hope that they do get paid more than, like, typical concession workers because they're, like, adding a whole other thing to you. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I guarantee they don't, though.
Oh, they definitely don't.
I guarantee they don't.
There's no way. There's no way AMC can still offer you $25 a month and seeing 3 movies free without just skimming it from the workers.
I know, absolutely.
Dude. The AMC revolts of 2037. We're gonna see a whole the concession workers rise up and burn down this country.
Oh my god! And AMC's just gonna be like, whatever. People are just gonna place it for express pickup anyway. We don't even need you.
We'll just get one of those fucking lunchbox robots. You just put that shit in there. It gets stuck on one of the stairs and just keeps hitting it for the entire duration of the movie.
Yeah, that's so fucking. Yeah, I mean, dude, people leave. I don't know what happens in people's minds, and they order something, and then it gets sent to the express pickup, and then it sits there. Yep. It has the time they ordered it. It sits there for 3 hours.
Yep.
Always take it.
Yep. Oh yeah. Every time that we've done that, like at the old AMC that used to be by us, they switched it for this new one.
Yeah.
Every time we would go in there, we would do an order for pickup. We'd go wait at the express thing because we're like, okay, we have it for this time. It'll be done whenever. So we're waiting for it. And you'll see something up there that's been there for 45 minutes. And you'll see someone checking tickets. And they'll go back to one a couple of times. Yeah. And they'll go back to it.
Yeah. And be like, that person's about to take it.
Yeah. And they'll just take it. And I'm just fuck yeah, dude. I'm like, don't let it go to waste.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
It's just so hilarious to me where it's just how do you just forget that you ordered $40 worth of food in a movie theater?
I feel like they probably, because especially during busier times, I feel like they probably just don't know where to pick it up. They go up to someone and they're like, hey, I had this. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they just give it to them,
And they're like, yes, I am he. He is me. We are he. And they're like, okay, sure.
Like, all right, cool.
I don't get paid enough to fucking care about it.
I'm not going to be like, did you check these? I'm just going to be like, okay, sure. I see your receipt. I'm just going to go for it. And then they're...
Right. I always felt bad too because we'd be standing there just waiting for something and then there's a huge line in the concessions are you guys good? We're like, yeah, we're just waiting, and they're like, oh, what's your order? And we're like, oh, this, and then they'll do it real fast. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, well, that wasn't thank you, but I wasn't trying to do that. I was just waiting. Yeah. So I always feel bad half the time when I'm making somebody do something for me and I'm like, sorry, that wasn't my intention.
They also have the A-list concession line, which I think is so funny.
It's so funny because it's always never as big as the other one anyways, and then people will just leave that one and go into that line and then nobody ever checks.
No one checks.
And I'm like, what was the point of this? Just everybody wait in the same fucking line.
No
Who
one
cares?
Checks. It's so silly.
It's so silly. Or just do at this point have just especially for those scanners, just set out popcorn.
Yeah.
Have somebody doing it. You just go up, they scan your thing real quick, and they hand you one.
Yes. That's what people are getting. Popcorn and drinks. Have that aside, and then a line for if you want fucking hot dogs or nachos.
Yeah. If you want more specific shit, if you want candy, if you want,
what they do in the City Walk.
Things.
They have a shitload of popcorn just out. You just go grab it. And
that's what they do for anytime we do a friends and family screening for a movie that just released. We do it at the City Walk. So they'll shut down the City Walk for that period of time of that day, and they'll just run
the whole City Walk.
Not the City Walk, just the AMC.
Oh, okay.
So they'll shut it down. That'd be fucking dope.
That'd be fucking insane, bro.
They shut down the AMC and they play it in all of the theaters. Nice. And you go up to the ticket table and you're just it's 2 of us, and they're like, cool, here's where you're going. Yeah. And you go in there and you walk in and it's so streamlined because it's tables where they just have the popcorn. You walk up, they hand you whoever you want, 2 of them. You just grab whatever drink you want. You go to the seat. I'm just like,
that's cool.
This is what it should just be.
It literally should just be like. I know. You don't need to wait in a line to tell you that I want a different. Just have the fucking popcorn out.
Yeah. Make it easy for everybody. Yeah. Scan a little thing. Yeah. Move on. Boop. Easy.
I don't know why they don't do that. There's got to be a reason.
It's probably easier to track that other way, versus this one where it's and especially too if it's sitting out for a long time, it's not as warm. I get it, but I'm also
they just got to do what they do at the fucking. At the Wonderland in Niles, bro.
Oh, God.
Just give you the popcorn bucket and then you fucking fill it up yourself. Yep. That shit is bomb.
God, I love that place.
It's so nice.
It's such a nostalgic thing. Every now and then I'll just have a memory of it and I'm just oh.
Damn.
It's a warm blanket being...
$2.50 matinee.
Showing up on a Tuesday and it's just you and one retiree in a corner and you're just perfect. This is my ideal viewing experience.
That theater's so fucking... I just love it. I love it so much. Nothing will ever taint it for me.
No. And I really hope that it just sticks around for forever.
I hope so too. I hope I don't know how they can with those prices, but I hope some like, rich mucky muck comes through and is like, hey, I'm going to
keep this. Yeah. Like this needs to just stay.
Yeah. It's just a gem. It's a staple.
It's just such a teeny tiny little place.
Yeah.
Just very, very, just, it feels very much like you've walked into the oldest movie theater that you can think of.
Yeah.
Like it just hasn't been renovated in like 30 years. No. You know that like if you took off one of the posters on the wall, there would be a poster for like the original Die Hard.
Yeah.
Like just very confusing.
Yeah.
But like you walk into it and you're like, what fucking year is it?
Yeah, dude. It's great. It's like a little time capsule.
Yeah, and you just have a great little time. I love that place.
Snacks are so cheap. The popcorn is so cheap. God, I just love that place. I just love it, man.
If anybody's ever up in Niles, go hit up the Wonderland Theater.
It's great. God, holy shit. Well, what a time.
What a time indeed.
What a time.
Yes.
My stomach doesn't feel like shit.
I think so too. I'm going to have to eat the rest of this with a fork because I was like, I don't want to just like stain my fingers yellow. So I'm like, I'm just going to like scoop this into my mouth once we're done here.
I'll get you a forky.
Thanks, man.
Anyways, we appreciate you all tuning in, checking out the Lunchtime Serenade. We had a great time. I've got nothing else. You got any?
One of my favorite things about doing this podcast is always watching you on the fly come up with an outro. It's always my favorite thing. It's not bad. I'm not saying this as a critique or anything like that. I genuinely love it because it's like the one time where I can actually just see the wheels turning. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, he's cooking. Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Just let him go. He'll figure it out. And then you always do, and it's always great.
Oh, thanks,
and I love
man.
it. It always just feels so sincere. It's so calm.
Oh.
It's a nice way to end a good lunch. You know what I mean?
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Brian.
I speak for everybody.
Yeah,
I am them. They are me, and we are he.
Yes. Anyways, we appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna keep it short and sweet and sincere. That's it. We appreciate you. And yeah, hope you had a great day. We'll see you guys next time.
Middle of the day, middle of the week.
Peace.